We're coming to you live from the Durban ICC, that's in KwaZulu-Natal, on the sidelines of the International Entrepreneurship and Investment Conference. And of course, CNBC Africa is your, well, not fly on the wall, but your peacock on the wall. Some of the sessions that are going to be taking place this morning, which is day 3, really interesting. The one session that's going to be happening shortly, and this is for our viewers that aren't able to make it to the ICC in Durban, is about from Asian tigers to African lions, new models of growth in the emerging world. Very interesting topic and a very interesting presenter. And the presenter I have with me is Mr. James Benoit, CEO of AfrAsia Bank, that's based in Mauritius. James, thank you very much for your time. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
Well, so we want to emulate some of the Asian tigers, right? Is that what we're saying?
That's right. I spent most of my career in Asia. I watched those tigers grow on the back of American-led export demand. And now we see China being a big catalyst in this part of the world. So I moved my career, my family, and set up myself up in Mauritius, also with operations in Zimbabwe, and now here in South Africa to take advantage of those increasingly what we call Africa-Asia trade and investment flows.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the SADC market. I mean, Mauritius is a SADC member country, and we've been hearing since the beginning of this conference that the SADC market is, there's some major plans to get a little bit of cohesion between the SADC countries.
Yes.
It's a 250 million strong market, and a lot of infrastructure that needs to be sorted out. But what do you think are the major strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities of the SADC region?
Right, I think the opportunity is that labor force is huge, which is going to be the consumption force eventually. So I think the challenge for policymakers is to have the right policies to bring that labor to the market and let the entrepreneur. Again, this conference is about entrepreneurship, not just investment. So the combination is very exciting for policymakers that can get that right. And we can see that happening in many of the countries now with trade agreements and just setting up regional trading hubs. And so it's very exciting. It does remind me of Southeast Asia 20 years ago when I first got there. So there's trading blocks taking shape, SADC, COMESA, all the rest of it. So it's actually quite exciting times.
Well, tell me a little bit more about living, working, and doing business in Mauritius. I know obviously it's the AfrAsia Bank is located there. Lots of people know Mauritius as a holiday place, but it's actually a very serious financial services sector, right?
It is. Tourism was the mainstay, but now it's financial services is the largest portion of GDP. Most of the global banks are there, and now there's new regional banks like mine setting up there. So a great place to do business from. Whether it's Moe Ibrahim Index or others, it's rated as one of the best places to do business in all of Africa.
Okay, speaking about business, your results were just published, and just give us a quick view of how you guys have done as far as those results that were published. Was it yesterday?
Just yesterday.
Right.
Results have been very good. 50% of our growth is now outside of Mauritius, reflecting our operations here in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and just regional trade and investment flows. So really, it's not just talk. We're participating in that growth.
Just a final question, James. Your participation in the conference today, you will be delivering on this topic.
Yes.
What can we look forward to for those of us that aren't able to make it?
Well, I'm going to try and share some of the things I saw happen in Asia and where I think the parallels are with what is the infrastructure and commodities boom here, and how policymakers can tap into that, how entrepreneurs can tap into that, how banks like mine are being set up to help them tap into that. So that's what I'll be talking about.
I said it was my final question. I do have another one, another bite of the cherry.
Yes.
The KZN government, what they are doing here, promoting entrepreneurship and investment, as well as talking about themselves as the natural gateway to the SADC region. Lots of debates around this yesterday, and I'm sure these debates are going to continue today. Lots of people asking whether or not KZN could be the natural gateway to the SADC region. I'm just interested to hear your thoughts on the same issue.
Right. Well, look, it's got a great port. It's a great city to live in. It's a beautiful place, so why not? It'd be very attractive to be based here. But obviously it has to do some marketing to make that awareness known, and it has to obviously enable itself with Johannesburg as the financial center. You can't have one of the without the other. So how they work together truly could be very great success.